Polkadot here, .USD. So this one is also bearish, very similar to OP coin, which I just looked at, but you can see there's an area here of resistance, and price has hit it and is selling off right at this zone. So I'd be looking for more short positions. Let's see, this is our bottom area that we would be targeting. Is there any previous ones over here? Nothing that I see. So we're at all-time lows, it appears. So that's good. So obviously, you know, our first area, get this right in the right place here. Our first area of interest in targeting is this area, and then after that we don't really know, just because it's never been this low before. So again, it's just like OP coin. Wow, this is beautiful. So right at this, you know, this area of liquidity here, you know, look how many times price respected the top of this area, you know, dug deep and then pulled back up and then respected it here, and then finally broke with this big bearish candle. And then yeah, price came back into this area and is now selling off right at this moving average. You know, this would have been the perfect setup to enter, but obviously missed it. Might get another opportunity though. There is an area of liquidity right here that price might get bought up a little bit at. So you can see respected, broke, and then, you know, tested it 4 times here. Big liquidity grab here, sold off. You know, sold it touched here as well, and then finally broke. So when we do have higher high, higher low structure here, bull structure, you know, from this area down here all the way up to here. So this is pretty bullish. Now we're pulling back. So a couple things. This could be, you know, maybe we are looking at continuous higher highs. Maybe this is bullish now. So, but odds are, no matter what, it's going to have to come down to this area. Oops. It's going to have to come down to this area and properly retrace and grab some more buyers. This is where the buyers will hang out, is in this area here. So no matter what, it's probably coming down regardless. And then if it breaks this area, I don't know, looks like we might actually get a bounce on this little level here, but I mean, this is our main area we got to focus on. So there'll be liquidity in this area here and this one. So we'll just see if it's enough to, you know, if there's enough buyers in this area and like price actually comes down to this area and then gets bought back up and goes, you know, heads, retests this area and then potentially heads higher. That's one thing that we could look at. I would have been, you know, trading with the trend and, you know, kept in mind that the daily moving average, and which is way up here, and the 4-hour, which price already rejected. So I mean, you know, as far as trading, the downside really favors you, right? You know, taking those short positions and targeting these lower liquidity zones, and then ultimately, you know, the furthest down liquidity zone, and then even after that. But you know, looking at this right now, I'd still be looking for, you know, price to come up back up to this area to short it if it rejects it again. But if not, you know, if it breaks these areas, then you're still looking to sell off, you know, below these areas, right? So if it breaks, if price continues down, because it looks like it's already started descending, you know, from up here, it you know, I think, let's see, I mean, this is a pretty big daily candle so far for Sunday, so we'll just see how this closes. I guess there's still just under 9 hours left, but I mean, it's tough because you also did get some good bull momentum, you know, like this is a massive daily candle right here, yesterday's candle for a Saturday as well. So like, maybe this is bullish, we don't know, but odds are, you know, it's coming to, you know, at least this zone, but probably this zone. So we'll just delete this one for now because it's not as major. This 50% 618 area is probably where it's headed. So if it breaks this zone, then we're going lower, and if it gets bought up at this zone, well, we're probably headed to at least this area. So really, there's nothing, because your risk to reward. So like, if you're going to sell it, let's say I'm gonna sell this right now. I mean, your risk to reward is terrible, because like, where's it gonna go? Like, you're not even gonna get a 1 risk to reward. So that's horrible. And then even if you're to buy this right now, let's say, because you're like, it's gonna break above this area here, it's gonna go higher, it's going to the moon. I mean, you have so many things against you right now. You have every moving average. You have what looks like, you know, like there's bear structure already, lower lows, lower highs in this 1 hour time frame. So like, that's against you. So it really doesn't make sense to take a trade either way right now. But what, so a potential trade would be if price gets bought up in this area and you start seeing higher highs, higher lows on the lower time frames, then I mean you could look for a buy position up to this area again, and you're just kind of range trading because you don't really know if it's going to break this area yet. You're anticipating and hoping it does, but you don't know that yet, and that's counter trend trading. So that doesn't really make sense to me either. It doesn't really make sense for me to buy this down here. There's just too many things against you when there's other things you could trade with more respectful confluences that would favor you. So I wouldn't take a buy position here either, and you kind of miss the sell position up here. So you might get another one, but I doubt it. This looks like a liquidity candle, liquidity grab here. So basically price decided, yeah, we're heading down and we need more sellers. So this came up here, grabbed all the sellers, and then boom, right down. So it looks like it's already executing that play. So we'll just see if it breaks this 50% 618 retracement right here. This is our main zone. Even if it breaks that, I'd probably be looking for, to head lower. And so like right now, DOT is moving, this says about 46 cents a week. This week it's already been 41, so that's very reasonable and on par. Last week was 40 cents, the week before was 34. Yeah, so 40 cents is really reasonable. So yeah, my biggest thing would be looking for, as of right now, would be shorting from here. But we do have recent bull structure, right? So this higher high, higher low segment here kind of throws me off because I don't actually know. Maybe we are bullish now. So there's just too much bull, and you kind of almost have a double bottom here. No, not quite. Well, a little bit. So, and a super, bullish engulfing candle here. So there's a lot of bull momentum out of this zone. So I don't know if it's just temporary and it's going to, sell off. So I'd probably be on the sidelines and kind of be sitting on my hands for a bit with this one because it's just, I don't know. I'd still be favoring the downside, if anything, because there's more things favoring you to the downside, but there is upside potential because, of this recent bull structure, right? So really, overall, I would wait for price to either come up to this area and start rejecting it again, selling off, or wait for price to break this area, and then you're just looking at targeting lower, and you're basically just looking at whatever the weekly range is. So right now it is about 40 cents. So depending on when this hits, this area, let's say it hits it tomorrow, and it's the start of the entire week kind of thing, you have till the end of Sunday. So that's our weekly range. So then we have from Sunday to move 40 cents. So like technically it could go way down here if price hit this by the end of tonight, which would be the end of Sunday night. So then you're shooting for the end of Sunday to the end of Sunday, which is this entire week, and the range for the week is about 40 cents. So at any point, if price breaks this section here and closes below it, so something like this, that is your entry. So, and then I would just target lower because this right now is creating, overall it's super bearish. It's creating lower lows and lower highs. It's the lowest it's ever been. Well, back here it was. So it could just be producing another, the next segment of price could just be the next low. So breaking below 355, I guess about 365 has been like the highest or the lowest close yet. So looking to break that. So that's our nice next price move. I mean, this is only 40 cents, which is on average of what this has been doing per week. So it's very reasonable. And I would still, favor the downside. I mean, this recent bull momentum is something to keep in mind. But overall, you can't say that this is more significant than all of this. So, definitely, it's trading is all about probability and statistics and price history. Look left to determine right, and you have to respect it. So prices below these moving averages, the 4 hour and the daily. So I mean, this is bearish. Like, we have to really factor that in, but I mean, it could change, and this could be the start of the change, with this recent bull momentum here, this higher high, higher low structure. But we don't know. Our safest bet, and that's the the trades you take are the safe ones, the ones that make sense and have the most confluences, that align with them. So waiting for price to break this area, retest it, and then head lower is your best bet. And this is a perfect trade for next week. Like, you're looking at over a 3 risk to reward. You can always cinch this up as necessary. Once price breaks this zone and retests, you set your stops accordingly. Ideally, you would keep your stop above this moving average, this 4-hour moving average, wherever it ends up down here. You would keep your stop above that, and then you're laughing. That's a really good trade setup. And you just target the new lows. And if we're looking at this, if you want to get real technical here, our next segment of price, we'll put this on the daily just so we get a nice outlook here. Your next price would be right here between the 127 and the 142, which is exactly where I have this trade marked out. So that doesn't really get much better than that. Like, target the 127, very, very reasonable, within the weekly range, everything, it's all there, 36 cents. Like, that is bang on, a textbook perfect trade setup. So that's what I'd be looking for. I'm going to keep this in mind. Actually, I'll set an alert, and we'll see how it plays out. So that's Polkadot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.